Destroy demons. Although this female emperor had bowed legs, she was still a great beauty. She was not afraid in the face of demons. The appearance of this female emperor caused a huge commotion. She waved her hand and her 9-spirit sword descended. It is also because of this that the demons are a bit defensive. They turn their eyes towards the sky where the female emperor Hai-Hoa is reigning. The army of the fairy world was in high spirits at this time. They held their weapons and shouted, "The female emperor of the 3 worlds is invincible. Please kill the demons." Suddenly, the female emperor's 9 spirits almost completely lost their aura, replaced by demonic energy that surrounded it with a layer of black smoke. Perhaps this female emperor did not expect this situation. She was stunned and did not know how to solve it. She can only be sure of one thing, that is the layer of gas surrounding her soul is demonic energy. Before she could find a solution, the 9 spirits began to be eroded by that demonic energy. Gradually, a part of the 9 spirits turned into ash. A few seconds later, a man appeared in front of the female emperor. He looked very young but very arrogant, sitting on a throne decorated with large and small skulls. The female emperor cautiously asked him, "Are you the one who used the bloodline of gods and demons to create the temple of gods and demons, unify the demon world, and honor the lord of all demons?" "This person is the supreme demon world. The demon master's name is Lan Tianhong," he replied to the female emperor in a cold voice. "It is this one." After the female emperor confirmed the identity of the person in front of her, she immediately became angry. She loudly questioned Hong. Why did she make living beings miserable? Lan Tianhong smirked and replied, "I have too much free time and nothing to do." The female emperor cursed Lan Tianhong as an evil pagan and arrogant. She wanted to represent justice and teach this devil a lesson. Hundreds of swords appeared. With a wave of her hand, the sword immediately rushed towards Lan Tianhong. One by one, she stabbed into the rolling skulls, including those of both demons and fairies. She was determined to kill the devil, Lan Tianhong, today. Each row of skulls on the chair was skewered by the female emperor's sword and cracked into pieces. Holding a sword in one hand, she rushed towards the enemy and shouted, "Slay demons and exorcise demons, protect the righteous path." Then suddenly, the 2 sides collided, causing a loud explosion in midair. The explosion lasted for a while and gradually disintegrated, creating dazzling light. Both the demons and the fairies stood still, silently watching the fight between the 2 kings of the 2 races. Their silhouettes appeared dimly behind the smoke of the explosion. The 2 shadows appeared more and more clearly, accompanied by a very unusual silence and immobility. Lan Tianhong's arm went directly through the female emperor's body. He said in a cold voice, "What a pity, even you can't win against this deity. From now on in this 3 worlds, the deity is the invincible one." The female emperor's face turned gray at this moment. She clenched her teeth in pain and could only utter 2 curses. "Devil!" The female emperor was so seriously injured that she could not recover. Before disappearing into nothingness, she used all her remaining consciousness to say, "This hatred is eternal. I will remember it. You remember it for me too. No matter how many thousands of years pass, I will definitely return to take revenge." Her words gradually faded, disappearing with her figure into space, leaving only Lan Tianhong. This battle was completely won by the demons. Nothing changed until 800 years later. Lan Tianhong has been invincible for nearly 10,000 years. Even though he possesses endless life and sky-high power, he has not been able to attain enlightenment and escape from the secular world. 10,000 years ago, he came from Earth to this place of exile and was alone, with no family, no relatives, no friends, no enemies. This loneliness is the biggest regret in his heart, is what prevented him from enlightenment and escape from this world for all that time. After 8,000 years, he decided to open the door of the demons to go out, open the door to the world, become immortal to see the world for a while. If you don't reach the physical world, where can you get the words escape from this world? A crowded urban place can be a pretty good choice. Lan Tianhong intends to seal this demonic energy and demonic blood, become immortal, and come to the lower world to experience the peaceful life he hasn't seen in a long time. Leaving his position as a demon, he wanted to see the hundreds of thousands of faces of the world and find that very ordinary happiness. He arrived at Huentian Fuang Citadel, the most bustling place. I don't know how long it took him to find himself a wonderful, gentle woman. Every time he comes home, he is excited. Today he came back from outside in an excited mood, pushed open the door and called out, "Princess! Today we met the god of wealth." No need to worry about this month's rent anymore. His wife was sweeping the yard when she heard her husband calling and immediately stopped. She was a beautiful, gentle woman. Seeing her husband, he immediately put down the broom in his hand. She ran over and placed a kiss on her husband's lips. The unexpected kiss made Lan Tianhong unable to avoid it, but he was so excited that he blushed. The love between husband and wife is strong. Surely during this time he has achieved the normal life he always wanted. The beautiful wife hugged her husband's waist and said softly, "General, you're finally back." She quickly and gently pulled her husband into the house and said quickly, "The food and water are all prepared. If you don't eat it anymore, it will get cold." Looking at his beautiful and capable wife, Lan Tianhong was filled with happiness. This was the ordinary human world. He was soon tired of the tricks and troubles in the demon world. This was the life he wanted. Entering the house, he picked up the bowl and continuously ate like a hungry tiger. Don't forget to compliment your wife while eating. Your wife's skills are always so good. The wife was very happy to see Lan Tianhong eating deliciously. She smiled and replied to her husband, "Eat slowly. If not enough, I will make more." Eating and drinking were fine, so she asked how business was going today. Lan Tianhong put his hand in his pocket to look for things. He smiled and said, "Don't be too surprised." From his pocket, he took out a large bar of silver and gave it to his wife, his face full of joy, and said, "Look, my lady." Looking at the large silver bar, the wife exclaimed in surprise, 10 taels? Yet it was 10 taels. Hello? He thought his wife was happy for him, but the next second he saw her whole body trembling with excitement. Lan Tianhong was stunned and immediately asked, "What's wrong, lady?" The wife's voice suddenly trembled with worry and fear. She asked her husband, "General, did you go to rob somewhere?" Lan Tianhong cried out in confusion, "No, that's not it." Afraid that his wife would get suspicious, he began to explain, "My lady, listen to me. The story is like this. While selling on the street, there was a child who was about to pass the age, so that child's grandfather wanted to buy him a gift. That kid pointed at an item and asked, 'Grandpa, I want this.' That child saw the statue of Qi Tian Dai Tan that I sculpted. The old man immediately asked, 'Boss, how much is this?' I said, 2 taels of white silver." Who would have thought that the old man would take out a 10-tael silver bar to return it? He also said, "No need to change money anymore." Who would have thought that he paid 10 taels and didn't even need change? The short story is that Lan Tianhong met a rich man who pampered his grandchildren, and he suddenly received this bargain of 10 taels of silver. After listening, the wife breathed a sigh of joy. So that's it. She took the silver from her husband's hand happily like a child saying she wanted to take it away. After his wife left, Lan Tianhong revealed the face of a demon. Finally, the mortal descended to the mortal world. The things that the devil carved, each knife contained a great heart. 10 taels was too cheap for him. Paying the sky-high price was not enough. Living in this mortal world, eventually you have to stop ignoring it, and just live. Lan Tianhong sighed. Remembering the kid who bought his things on the street, Lan Tianhong saw that that child was born with supreme spirit and extraordinary luck. If he had a chance, he might be able to realize a deep secret. Far inside it, everyone has to see the creation of that kid. Lunch passed smoothly. It was another simple day. Lan Tianhong's wife is not only beautiful and good at cooking, she also knows how to play the zither. A day with 3 frugal meals and tea. After meals, the couple recited poems, played the guitar, and drew pictures. This young couple always gave each other passionate looks. No one thought this was the life of a great devil.
Compared to the previous life of killing, these were extremely beautiful days for Lan Tianhong. As the afternoon gradually fell, Lan Tianhong's wife silently looked at the sunset. Her irregular figure under the setting sun became even more irresistibly sexy.
Lan Tianhong's hand couldn't help but reach out and approach. While his wife wasn't paying attention, he lifted her up, making her face turn red with embarrassment. "What are you doing?" Hating her, blaming her for loving her husband, Lan Tianhong looked at her passionately and whispered, "Lady, it's not early anymore, we should go to bed." The wife looked at him, revealing a doting expression and asked, "Do you want to bully me again?" Lan Tianhong did not deny it. He turned his face to his wife and replied coyly, "I want." Surprisingly, this wife is very indulgent to her husband. Her hand gently stroked his hair behind his ear and whispered, "Let's go." Needless to say, Lan Tianhong was so happy, lifting his beautiful wife up with an indescribable euphoria in his heart. But even the Fa brothers here wouldn't understand. The door opened and then slammed shut with a loud thud. The beautiful lady had now removed several layers of hot clothes, leaving only a thin, cool blouse. She laid out the end-of-day meal to invite her husband. She said, "Why are you still standing there?" Then used a pleasant tone to urge Lan Tianhong. "Come here quickly, you idiot." Lan Tianhong no longer has the arrogance of a devil. Now he looks like an old dog boiling with goat's blood. He threw off his shirt and rushed to his wife. "Lady, I'm coming." Next is the intimate scene, the youthful spring night of the couple. The house began to be filled with love. The brothers' hearts were beating and their legs were shaking. If the top told them but the bottom didn't listen, they should quickly get the papers. People have pairs. Birds on branches have pairs. It's just you guys who are watching the review in front of the screen. It's lame, Fa guys. After an intense plowing battle, Lan Tianhong slept as soundly as death, but not his wife. She seemed to be having some kind of nightmare, and her face was contorted and looked very uncomfortable. In the dream, she was going to a very large place. Although she didn't know where she was, this place felt very familiar to her. She also saw a group of fully armored soldiers kneeling at someone's feet. They were bowing their heads in unison with the person above, paying their respects to the Supreme Queen Hai-Hoa for protecting the sentient beings of the three worlds. The person they were worshipping, they called the Hai-Hoa Empress. The Hai-Hoa Empress was actually her, Lan Tianhong's wife. A flood of memories suddenly came back. Her mind remembered, I am Hai-Hoa Queen. At this time, Lan Tianhong's wife woke up from her dream. Past life memories flashed in my head one after another. I grew up in a mortal body, went through countless calamities, relied on strong willpower, and finally became a heavenly emperor to rule over the fairies, to become the master of the fairies. Gender: female Emperor Hai. He despised the three realms. In the ancient battle of immortals and demons, she killed many demon gods. Her face changed when she heard the name. It was she who brought tens of thousands of years of peace to the three worlds, until I met him. The day Lan Tianhong, the demon master of the demon race, appeared, a move that pierced her heart caused her to die on the spot. She fought with the supreme demon lord for 3 days and 3 nights. In the end, she was no match and died at the hands of the demons on the spot. That pain seems to have remained smoldering from then until this lifetime, and cannot be forgotten. Hai-Hoa woke up from her dream. All the recent memories were like a dream, but they made Hai-Hoa realize that he was the reincarnated emperor of the central fairy world. Now I have awakened my consciousness, and restored my memories of my previous life. I don't know what the occasion was for awakening immortal consciousness. Memories of past lives are constantly pouring out. While she was still shocked by her status, the arm of the man next to her was reaching out. His vulgar hand touched his celestial body. Hai-Hoa screamed in fear. "Someone let go." Her voice seemed to make the man confused, so his actions slowed down. Hai-Hoa immediately threw that arm away with a look of disgust. Her mind quickly calmed down. Looking at the man who was still sleeping, she was both helpless and embarrassed, silently cursing in her heart. "Oh my God, I am the female emperor of Hai-Hoa, but with a mortal man, we have interacted more than 10,000 times." But she didn't know, this mortal was the devil who killed her in her previous life. Lan Tianhong smiled like an idiot. His eyes were still closed but his mouth was moaning. "Lady, I still want you. I just want ABCD, want to spell, want to have sex with this man." Hai-Hoa's mind began to become confused. She thought to herself, "Holy and majestic, the strange female emperor of the three worlds." Hai-Hoa, the female emperor, shared the same bed with a mortal man for 3 years. If it were to be transmitted, the entire three worlds would be affected. Everyone knows, then we have no face left. Kill him, wash away your nobility and purity, not to mention, being a female emperor will have no feelings, and your great revenge has not yet been repaid. Thinking about her past life's hatred made Hai-Hoa look at her husband with fierce eyes filled with murderous intent. If you kill this guy, then everything can be considered as if nothing happened. At this time, Lan Tianhong was still talking in his sleep, wanting his wife to cook soft tofu for him to eat. But he was not afraid that he had changed into someone else, and was still intending to kill him. Hai-Hoa was determined to take action, but stopped midway. Looking at the man sleeping soundly like death, he couldn't take action without any resistance. Hai-Hoa sighed and retracted her hand. "AI, okay, still soft-hearted, can't bear to let him die." She raised her hand to caress her mortal husband's cheek and thought to herself, Even if I restore the memories of the female Emperor Hai Hoa, I still love this man so much. How can I kill him? Even though I am the female emperor of the Central Heavenly Emperor Shiha, I will always be your wife. Lan Tianhong was still dreaming of spring, his throat moaning softly. Hee, my lady. I still want more matches. Hai Hoa bent down to look at her husband, her eyes filled with affection. She decided that she would make herself a good wife. I also want to carefully protect this man. Let's be a normal couple with him. Whoever dares to hurt him, I, Queen Hai Hoa, will definitely let him destroy his sect and clan, regretting it for the rest of his life. She gently came closer and placed a kiss on his lips. She returned to her gentle appearance like a cat lying next to her husband, enjoying the feeling of marital happiness. A long night has passed, a new day has come. Lan Tianhong lazily stretched and sat on the bed with a long yawn. He conveniently slapped his wife's butt. He looked at his wife and gently called, "Please help me change my clothes." Hai Hoa hugged her husband from behind. Lan Tianhong conveniently carried his wife up. Hai Hoa said in a pampering voice, "Okay, the general is waiting for me to get some clothes." Hai Hoa helped her husband get dressed. Since the moment they woke up, the two have never left each other's eyes. Lan Tianhong used both hands to gently pull his wife's slim waist closer to his body. He seemed happy and said to Hai Hoa, "For such a talented and virtuous wife, I can marry her. I have nothing more to ask for in this life." Hai Hoa put her head on her husband's chest and whispered, "Husband, I've used up all my makeup powder, come and help me buy it." Lan Tianhong immediately agreed, "Okay, let the husband and wife go buy it." Hai Hoa was like a chick, she cooed and asked the general to help her change clothes. Doesn't resemble the demeanor of a female emperor at all. According to his wife's wishes, Lan Tianhong also gently complied. Each of their next gestures was extremely intimate and gentle. Lan Tianhong's hands were also very skilled, and he soon finished dressing his wife. It's just an ordinary outfit, but wearing it on Hai Hoa's body suddenly makes people feel beautiful and touching. Looking at his wife in the mirror, Lan Tianhong couldn't help but compliment, "Lady, you are so beautiful." Hai Hoa turned around and asked, "What?" Seems to have not heard clearly. Lan Tianhong gently replied, "My lady, the sophisticated way of dressing is so beautiful, it is difficult to imagine that there is such a beautiful woman between heaven and earth." Hai Hoa laughed, and joked with him. "If I don't wear makeup, am I not beautiful?" Lan Tianhong immediately shook his head. "How is that possible?" He hugged Hai Hoa lovingly and said, No, my lady, in my heart will always be the most beautiful, at any time." Hai Hoa kissed Lan Tianhong's cheek and said in a slightly sullen voice, "Stop flattering me." Once the preparations were complete, he and his wife were able to leave the house, temporarily giving the brothers a quality dog meal. They went out to the main street to look for things to buy. The streets are bustling with people and animals passing by, looking very bustling. The ghost couple and the fairy walked together on the street, accidentally passing by a group of people dressed in black. As soon as Lan Tianhong looked at this group of people, he saw that something was wrong. His eyes couldn't help but glance at them probingly. At this moment, Hai Hoa also found the things she needed. She reminded her husband, "Wait here for me. I'll go there and buy some things." As soon as Hai Hoa left, the sound of a nearby shop owner announcing for sale rang out. "This is a top-notch street girl rabbit." It immediately attracted Lan Tianhong's attention. It seemed like this was the first time he heard the name Valerian Rabbit, so he was somewhat curious. The shop owner is still enthusiastically selling the superior rabbit girl. Each one has extraordinary beauty, graceful figure, 18 skillful techniques, love to death without paying for your life. If you miss today, you won't have time to regret it tomorrow. As soon as he heard the boss's voice, Lan Tianhong also passed through most of the group of female servants. They were indeed in good shape. This is a world where the strong oppress the weak, and Lan
Tianhong is not surprised to see this trading scene, but his constant gaze attracted the shop owner, who immediately waved and called, "This little brother, come here." Seeing Lan Tianhong approaching, he enthusiastically announced, "Little brother, do you want to buy a female rabbit?" Many people relax and dress
at night, leaving their spirits refreshed. Lan Tianhong replied curtly, "No." The shop owner did not let go. He held Lan Tianhong's shoulder and whispered, "I can give you 20% off." Lan Tianhong glanced slightly at the cage. Looking at these female rabbits, they really looked worth thinking about. Her calm and lovely appearance makes me like her. Suddenly Hai Hoa rang out, Your soul wants to be taken away. Do you want to buy one or not?" Have a good evening and serve you. Lan Tianhong was so scared that his face turned pale. He explained in confusion, Lady, I am wronged, I have never had this thought. She looked at the shop owner with deadly eyes, threatening her, daring to open her mouth to seduce the male emperor. Is Noyet Baotrei right? Very good. Next time don't think about doing business in Fuangqin Citadel. Lan Tianhong was afraid something was wrong, so he patted his wife's hand and pulled her away. I suddenly felt a terrifying cold air covering me. Hai Hoa suddenly snatched her hand away from her husband's hand. She was angry with her husband, she said. I must spend all my money on him to vent my anger. Lan Tianhong tried to justify, he said, good or bad, I am also your husband, how can I be fascinated by beauty? She turned around and looked at the store owner's booth, wanting to curse him. He dared to open his mouth to seduce his man, Noyet Baotrei. Very good. Next time don't think you can do business in Phoenix Citadel. The woman's cold and angry aura spread so quickly that not only Lan Tianhong but also the shop owner were startled. It was scary what Lan Tianhong and the shop owner felt at the same time, when looking at Hai Hoa's eyes. Next is the scene of Hai Hoa spending money shopping to vent her anger. She took out everything from the clothing store to look at. She had to stop by the jewelry stall on the side of the road, and constantly snacking along the way. Everyone at Lan Tianhong had to obediently go along without daring to complain. Walking through a few streets, Lan Tianhong's hands were piled high with things he was about to lose. He called out, My lady, we bought a lot, now prepare to go home. Hai Hoa happily replied, Okay. At the same time, a group of people were walking down the street holding flags. Horses lined up are marching in rows on the street. The group of people and horses belonged to Tian Vu's deputy Queen Tian Vu. She was the one who went to destroy the rebellious demon wolf clan. Unexpectedly, she could return triumphantly. She sat in the car. Her cold and serious face made people admire her. His eyes always look forward. There is not the slightest bit of feminine gentleness here. Lan Tianhong stood with his wife on the sidewalk.
He curiously asked, Who is this with such a proud spirit? The man next to him immediately answered, This person is Fo Tian Vu's younger sister. I didn't expect that she would quell the rebellion of the demon wolf clan and return victorious
so quickly. She is the youngest god of war in the dynasty. Is the love confidant of Queen Denfuang. I didn't expect that such a young sister would be so powerful and extraordinary. Hai Hoa's face looked at Fo Tian Vu with pride. She silently said, I didn't expect to come back so quickly. Fo Tian Vu sitting in the car suddenly turned around, seeming to recognize something in the crowd of people on the roadside. Hai Hoa was standing next to Lan Tianhong. At this moment, she also suddenly disappeared. Before he could find out where his wife was, a feeling of insecurity appeared in Lan Tianhong's heart. In this crowd, he noticed a hidden murderous aura. It can be guessed that this murderous aura comes from the group of people dressed in black, wearing hats that cover half their faces, silently following every step of Fo Tian Vu's group that Lan Tianhong and his wife met when they first went out on the street. Lan Tianhong estimated that someone was about to kill someone on the street. Sure enough, less than a second later, a guy wearing a hat rushed in front of Fo Tian Vu, threw a grenade and shouted, Die! The place this guy was aiming for was Vice Tian Vu, who had just returned triumphantly.
Lan Tianhong was somewhat impatient. He saw a hidden weapon being released and became worried. Fo Tian Vu's soldiers immediately issued orders to stop the assassin. Fo Tian Vu has been on the battlefield for many years and faced this situation very calmly. At this time, Lan Tianhong quickly ran towards his wife and pushed her down in the crowd to avoid being attacked.
But this attack was quickly repelled with a sword from Deputy Tian Vu. As expected of the dynasty's god of war, Fo Tian Vu's sword immediately changed the direction of the grenade. Before the astonished eyes of the people, the grenade that was repelled by Deputy Tian Vu exploded in midair. When people saw this scene, they screamed in horror. Lan Tianhong and his wife were also standing in the middle of the chaos at this time, their hearts also in shock. The soldiers split up to escort Fo Tian Vu. Next was the action of the group of people wearing hoods. The group of assassins had a leader. He signaled his subordinates to follow the plan. Following his instructions, the entire group of assassins rushed towards Fo Tian Vu. Just like last time, Deputy Tian Vu was extremely calm. She signaled, The generals obey orders. The troops under the barricade immediately gathered and waited to hear orders. Fo Tian Vu only said one thing, Kill them all. The assassins flew like birds. Suddenly they dispersed. They took turns flying in the assigned direction. one figure walking in front. Other assassin figures followed one after another. Each figure flying in the air made the people scared. This group of people were all monks. These were all monks at least in the Qi condensation realm, and there were even great monks in the divine condensation realm, too powerful. Each monk prepares a different move. The old man in charge is currently reciting the formula, turning the heavenly seal. Some people mentally count billions as rulers. Others recited the king of hell's orders. Others used fire yellow vu. Fo Tien Vu's soldiers quickly gathered, and they pledged to live and die to protect their general. The group of monks rushed out like arrows, leading the attack that was disproportionate in number. The commotion was so great that people ran away in panic. Everyone was afraid that they would die from the contagion. Lan Tianhong looked at the group of people holding swords and buying machines in front of him, and was annoyed. He thought to himself, a bunch of barbarians. If it wasn't for me not being able to show my strength in front of my wife, then perhaps you would have died a long time ago. Already, he turned around and said to his wife, "Don't be afraid, I'll take you back to the palace." But at this moment, next to him, his beautiful wife suddenly turned into a strange woman holding Lan Tianhong's shoulder, and calling out lovingly, "Sir, sir, save the slave family." Lan Tianhong was startled and howled. Luckily his soul was intact. He shouted loudly, "What the hell, monster, you almost got scared off by the woman. Why is appearance so important? It's obvious that you're calling the woman ugly." Lan Tianhong tried to calm down after the shock just now, trying to calmly forget about it and go find the more important lady. He grabbed the woman's collar and asked loudly and angrily, "Have you seen my lady anywhere?"